Okay, so with Christmas just around the corner, I think it's only fitting that we go for an all-you-can-eat Christmas dinner. And the place we're going to be doing that is Toby Carvery. So let's head in and try it out. So we all know Toby's as the place to go for carvery. But what is their festive menu like? Will it be just as good? Well, let's head in and find out. Right, so here is the festive menu. As you can see, they do various 2 and 3 course meals at different prices depending on the day. Today, I think I'm going to go for the 2 course meal of a main and a pudding. Plus add a side of pigs in blankets. I don't want to fill up on a starter, especially since I'm going to be having their festive carvery main. I got a pot of tea with my meal as usual. But on this occasion, they gave me the tea bag on the saucer with the cup, which confused me a little bit. And I ended up putting the tea bag in the cup as you normally would when given a tea bag with a cup, and then started pouring the pot of hot water in, which felt a bit unnatural. And this turned out to be a bit of a mistake, as I then forgot to take the tea bag out and pour it in the pot, leaving me with a pot of hot water on the side with no tea bag in to infuse. Anyway, off I went to get the festive carvery. You do get the usual choices of meats, but as it's Christmas, I opted for turkey only, and when you opt for one meat, they normally give you more of it, which I was happy about. Moving on, we have the veg and sides, which work exactly the same as the regular carvery. You can have as much as you want of this and come back as many times as you want, just not for the meats. I pretty much got a bit of everything and didn't notice anything different to the usual carvery, but I may be mistaken, especially with the pasta. Do they normally give you this option? I couldn't quite remember. The gravy pour is always the thing I look forward to with any meal that includes gravy, and I went for a whole ladle full. You can never have too much gravy. Next to the gravy station, you have a choice of sauces, one of which being cranberry, and with it being the festive carvery, I thought it would be the fitting one to go for. Okay, so here is the finished Toby Carvery Christmas dinner. Let's have a closer look at what I got, because there's a lot of items on here. We have some carrots, some sort of pasta bake underneath, some stuffing, roast potatoes, a huge Yorkshire pudding, roast parsnips, peas, red cabbage, a side of pigs in blankets, the cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, cauliflower cheese, the turkey underneath it all, and everything covered in gravy. Let's eat. I'm going to start off with the mashed potato. It's already covered in gravy, so the perfect way to have it. Let's see how it tastes. Very nice. The gravy is the flavour you get straight away. It's meaty and salty with a hearty feel to it. The mash is soft and fluffy with a slightly creamy potato flavour, maybe on the saltier side, although I'm not sure if that's from the gravy, but overall I liked it. Let's move on to the pasta. So this looked like some sort of pasta bake. As mentioned, I couldn't quite remember if this is on the menu normally. Comment below if you do. Let's try it. Nice. The pasta is cooked perfectly for me. It's nice and soft but still has a good bite and chew. The sauce was a little cheesy and the caramelized bits that were on the top were delicious. Let's move on to the cauliflower cheese. I did get a big portion of it because I remember liking it from the previous visits I've had. Let's see if it's as good as I remember. It is indeed. You get a subtle cheesy flavour that I almost want to be stronger. The gravy on it adds a meatiness. The cauliflower itself is soft and pretty much melts in your mouth as you eat it. And the flavour of it is nice too. Right, I think it's time to move on to the pigs in blankets. Now these were an added extra for an extra cost. They cost £3.99 for 6. I was kind of hoping they would be included in the carvery, because after all, it is Christmas. Let's see if they're worth the extra money. Delicious. Pigs in blankets are always worth the extra money. The bacon on the outside is crispy, meaty and salty, especially the more charred parts. The sausage on the inside has a good bite to it and adds an extra layer of meatiness. The combo of the two is fantastic. The parsnips are something I want to try next, as I find they can be a bit hit or miss. Sometimes if they're not done right, the flavour can be a bit overpowering. Let's see what these ones are like. Very nice. These have been roasted well. There's a slight crisp to the parts that have charring on them. The other parts are soft and with a satisfying bite. You get a subtle sweet flavour from the inside with a fluffy texture. I like these parsnips. The stuffing is next. Now this was popular as there wasn't much of it left by the time I got there. I think I got one of the last big bits left. Let's try it out. Decent. This has been baked, so you get a nice crispy bit on the top which adds a bit of a crunchy texture. The underneath is soft and kind of stodgy, although it does crumble away a little bit. There's a subtle onion flavour. It's not bad. Let's move on to the roast potatoes. Now these are an item that I'm looking forward to trying. The colour of them looks fantastic, especially with the gravy on them. Let's go in for a try. Delicious. You can tell by the colour that the outside has a slight crisp with a sort of caramelised burnt potato flavour that's really nice actually. The inside is soft and fluffy with a good potato flavour. The combination of the two textures and all the flavours really work well together. We have to try out some more of the veg in this meal, so red cabbage it is. I'm not sure why it's called red cabbage as it's purple. Let's just give it a try. What can I say? It's got a bit of a crunch, not much of a cabbage flavour, but the texture is good. Now this is one of my favourite things, the Yorkshire pudding, and you get an absolutely massive one here at Toby's. I've cut off a big piece. I've managed to keep it away from the gravy so it's not stodgy. Let's eat it. Amazing. You get a crisp and crunch as soon as you bite into it. There's also a really satisfying meaty flavour. The bottom of it is soft and doughy with a meaty bread taste. This is by far the best thing I've tried so far. The cranberry sauce is something I had to get with it being a festive meal. The colour of it is great and adds a vibrancy to the plate. Let's see how it tastes. Nice. The sweetness is just right, so it's not too sweet or too bland. There's a subtle cranberry flavour that's a little tart. There's also bits of cranberry in there too that add a bit of texture to the bite. It's a good cranberry sauce. Okay, I think I've kept the suspense for long enough. It's time to try the turkey. Now as mentioned, you do get the option to have all the other meats, but as it's a Christmas carvery, I thought the turkey would be fitting. Let's try it out. Pretty good. It's soft but meaty at the same time. You do get a subtle turkey flavour. It's not bad. You do get some dry parts of it though, as you can see here, so a bit of a mixed bag. Right, it's combo bite time, and with the amount of food we have, we can make quite a few of them. The first one is roast potato, turkey, carrot, and some cranberry sauce on top. Here it goes. Delicious. With this next one, I've gone a little simpler. So it's roast parsnips, turkey, and mash, but with a good dipping of gravy. Fantastic. The next one has got a bit of everything. So Yorkshire pudding, turkey, roast potato, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy. This one should be good. And it is. I just had to do one with the pigs in blankets too. So this is mash, cauliflower cheese, cranberry sauce, and the pigs in blankets. Amazing. Before I finish this up and move on to the pudding, I have to say this was a great meal. Individually the items were tasty, but when you combine them into combo bites, they become next level. You can just make endless combos and not do the same one twice because you have so much on the plate, and I finished it up in no time at all. So for the pudding, there was a lot of choices, but I went for the festive crumble. It looks to be a half and half mix, or maybe a little more custard, but I don't mind because I'm happy with both. I'm going to start off with tasting the custard first. I mean, the portion is great. If you're a fan of custard, which I am, you're going to love it. Let's see how it tastes. Amazing. The custard is a lot better than I was expecting. I thought it would just be a standard custard, but this is delicious. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. You get a good vanilla flavour. It's creamy, it's thick in texture. I really like this. Let's move on to the crumble. So on the menu it says it's an apple and rhubarb mix, which I'm happy about as I love both. The crumble is covering the fruit. Let's try it. Fantastic. You get a comforting bite and crunch from the crumble. It's sweet and buttery, and the fruit is soft and tart. Delicious. Let's combo bite this up and mix it all together. So let's get a bit of the crumble with the fruit, and then add a good helping of custard too. That looks amazing. I can't wait for this. Let's eat it. Incredible. I don't know what it is about puddings, but no matter how full you are, you always just seem to have space for it. And let me tell you, this is a pudding you're going to want to find space for, because it might even be my favourite part of the meal. What a great meal that was. The standouts for me were the Yorkshire pudding, pigs in blankets and crumble. They were delicious. So the total cost of that meal was £19.47. Was that worth it? Comment down below. And if you like the video, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you there.